The total cost of a home mortgage is much more than just the monthly mortgage payments. Once a sales contract is signed, the closing process begins. As part of the closing, the deed and title are transferred to the buyer, title insurance and financing documents are exchanged and copies are delivered to the county recorder. Since the closing is a legal process, it often involves an attorney or at least a third-party escrow holder. All of these processes and professionals cost money, adding up to a surprisingly large sum known as the closing costs. The amount of money you'll have to pay in closing costs varies a lot by region. If you live in a highly taxed area, for example, your closing costs will be higher. Also, realtors, lenders and attorneys have differing fee scales depending on the markets they work in. Typically, you will pay anywhere from 3 to 6% of your total loan amount in closing costs. That means $3,000 to $6,000 if you get a $100,000 loan. Of course, you can and should shop around and negotiate the fees. The Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act requires lenders to provide you with a good faith estimate of closing costs within 3 days of receiving your application. As you can see from the list covering the next few pages, there are a lot of fees that you might be able to convince the lender to lower or drop. You may also be able to negotiate for the seller to pay some of the closing costs. The fees for services involved in closing a mortgage fall into 3 categories: the actual cost of getting the loan, the fees involved in transferring ownership of the property, and the taxes paid to state and local government.